Hello and welcome back to episode 9 of the rebuild of Cruz. I am Wolf and this is what we built the last episode. Of course, there's going to be some more detailing later, but at least I got the buildings in, and I'm flying over this little bit of a neighborhood that I didn't show when I built it because I forgot to record. We have the park there in the middle, and just taking a little fly around until we get to the area where we're going to build today. It's not going to be a residential or commercial area, but I'm going to build a Railyard and make some more intersections to get this whole area connected. So beside this train station here, they're going to be a freight station and a Railyard, and this whole area here, a really big one. And also gonna change this intersection, and the roads are gonna go over the train tracks. So I think we're gonna bring up the UI and start building here. There we are, and I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. So we'll see how it will end up looking. Probably gonna be a whole lot of mistakes and back and forth, and me just being completely lost. And I just remember now that I completely forgot that I had to put in the metro that I actually took out. So I will do that maybe in the next, either off camera or in the next episode. So here you see me taking out everything. I'm putting in the railroad tracks. And it's quite annoying when everything is sloping in weird directions and the rail is like forming to the slopes in weird ways. So just you see here that the slopes the terrain is not doing what I want it to do. But I think it turns out to look pretty good in the end anyway. I'm not sure this is how the way I'm gonna build this is how a rail yard actually will look, but I think it end up looking pretty good. I'm just trying to flatten terrain a little bit here, and there's a power line that and so the terrain here is as normal in this city, very slopey, as you can say. And so we trying to figure out how to just there's a lot of terrain issues here. So I am also wondering which area I'm gonna do next, and how I will do that. I am thinking about doing this area that's just up to the right now, next to the water. Okay, now that's weird that then wanting to go up. So I'm moving this rail a little bit to try and get it in the same height as the other one. You see the trains flying there, and trying to figure out how that there's going to be passenger rail, it's going to be freight rail passing through the same area, and how that will actually work. We got a lot of flying cars. That looks kind of funny when you have removed roads and the cars are still there. So here I am putting in some rail for the some passing rail, and I downloaded freight station from the workshop that is that have 2 tracks of for the freight station instead of 1 that the normal one has. That will make it that it has of course has a higher capacity and can handle more trains. And don't know why that was elevated. I have it on ground level. Okay, so I'm just trying to get all the tracks in a way that I will actually look somewhat realistic. And no, I will redo and do this a lot of times. And I also sat here and tried to do it off camera a lot of times too, but it just didn't. They are a really high difference in levels here. And then the highway will cross over the rails, and now you see that I'm trying to get it in the correct attitude, but then I realized that everything is sloping in weird directions here, so it doesn't do what I want at all. So trying to get it, I try to use the align height tool there to object height, but I just end up doing it manually to try and get it to be somewhat level. And this whole area went down quite a bit. There it's not the whole thing. That end up looking pretty good. And these rails here, trying to get it to look normal. That's not really switch there, but that it's that train can pass over there in towards that part of the city. There's quite a complicated interchange going on here. I hope that the trains will understand what to do here. I think that everything is actually connected here. That'll be looks weird, but I think that would be like a nightmare for the control that's gonna put in the and here it wants to go underground, and I don't want it to go underground, so I have to do a little bit terrain work again. And here, do I have? Yeah, there was a piece of track there. Some reason. Oh, okay. And all of these are gonna they're gonna go into this because if you go over towards that part, that is going over to the that train track to the right is going over to the airport and the big logging area. And I think that there is either oil or ore over there too, so there will be some of that area like that too later. And here just doing the other side of the Railyard. So I think that end up looking pretty good. I'm taking out some buildings here, moving something to extend this road, because it was weird that this avenue ended in just a small road and had an avenue on the other side of the block there. So I moved that a little bit, and we have put in a road here. This interchange is going to change later, because I'm going to make that so it connects to the highway there. And here I'm just trying to get it somewhat aligned with the terrain so it looks a little bit better. I think that with the 2-track freight station there is kind of cool. I know that there is another one on the workshop that has even more tracks, like 2 freight terminals on either side and things like that. So here I am starting with the highway, and I actually recorded quite a lot of me just fiddling around trying to figure out what to do, and it didn't work out anyway the way I wanted it. So I did a little bit of fiddling off camera, and finally got it looking somewhat the way I wanted it. I just have to get the metro in later, hopefully without this weird curve. I'm gonna try and draw it a little bit more along the highway. And you see here that I had the metro overhaul mode installed before. I took it away because it screwed up my game. The metro was acting really weird, and it didn't put out any pillars or anything, so I had to put in them manually, and that's why it kept saying that if I wanted to take out a historic building, I actually don't know why that every single building went historic. I think because I had the recon mode installed. So here I'm trying to put in this, and it was after a while here that I realized that if I keep doing this, I am gonna end up with 5 hours of video of me putting in roads and taking the roads away, and putting in roads and taking them away. So well, while we just look at me trying to figure this out. As I said, with the metro, I had the metro overhaul mode installed, and that messed up the game. I don't know why it kept with every tunnel. The tunnels didn't go right into the ground, and the metro lines kept disappearing, and it just didn't want to do what I wanted it to do. It's a little bit sad because I really like the mod. Also, you can adjust the height of the stations in the ground, and you can have multiple platforms at stations and through tracks and everything. So it's I don't know why it did like it did. So I ended up uninstalling it, and so now I got to put in that metro line again, and I'm going to try and get it to so that it goes in between the highway, and then makes it and then connects to that station that is now just sitting there. We can't actually see the station now, and this is me at the beginning trying to get this highway to connect to each other, and this is nowhere near the way it ends up looking. And so I have set a whole lot of things offline, and now I just figured out somewhat how to do this. I don't know if it ends up being looking good or not, but I ended up the lower highway here. I rerouted it a little to make more room on the lower side here. So it goes in a little bit of a curve underneath the upper highway. And so I'm making a cloverleaf interchange. And you see that the roads are connecting here in a way. I'm going to use the intersect marking tool to get it looking a little bit better. And you have the on-ramp go right over the graveyard there. And then I was thinking a lot how to connect this intersection to the other normal roads around the area. And after a while I realized that no, I'm not gonna bother with that. So at each corner, a little bit further away, there are gonna be 4 different other intersections. That if you wanna change just the highways, then you use this big intersection in the middle. If you're gonna go into one of the areas, you use another if they went a little bit silent there for a little bit a while, I don't know if it was not or not. I can check that later if I watch the video. But I forgot to move the mouse again. That seems to be a common theme of mine, to forget to move the mouse so that my screensaver goes on. I'm just gonna take a sip of my tea here. That might sound a little weird in the microphone, but okay. So here I am doing one of the intersection, and I just thought of a normal what is called diamond interchange first, but it ended up not looking very good, so I decided to put in a roundabout instead. And then the roundabout got a little messed up. It as you will soon see here, it decided to act in weird ways. So I took it away and put in another one that I can actually lock like that, and like that. And I wanna put in these on ramps like this. So if you're coming here from the left, you can go into both these areas, and you come in, and also when you're coming from the other direction, you can come in, go off this on ramp to go into these neighborhoods here. Just lowering it a little bit to get a little bit more of a clearance. I'm trying to adjust lanes here, and I will go over everything of this with the intersection marking tool later to make it look pretty. And here I'm taking away a lot of buildings. Doesn't really matter because I'm gonna redo we had a bus depot there. I'm gonna redo these areas anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I destroy buildings. And for some reason there was an avenue here instead of a highway, so I had to change that. And I doesn't quite like the way this roundabout looks here. And it was a little bit tricky doing it underneath the highway. So you see that misformed there a lot. So I end up removing that one and the highway to get a good roundabout underneath here. And I realized that you can actually increase the size of the roundabouts. Oh. And that was weird. Yeah, and trying to get this locked in to so it stays round. That's always good. And then we put in the on ramps for the highway here. And this is of course for connected to these areas on the left, it's on the top and bottom of the screen right now. I will see how when I actually finish the whole rebuild and I start simulation, it will be interesting to see how the town reacts to everything I've done. If it goes completely haywire and just crashes completely and everybody moves out and there's no one living here, or if they just adjust to the changes and be happy about it. And I also said that I am going to go through, I have the saves from before I started building the city, and I'm going to go through every area and see how many residentials, homes, and how many jobs and everything was in each area. And then I'm going to do the same with after I rebuild them, and I'm going to see the difference. I wonder if if that would be a video worth doing when I do all this or not. Let me know in the comments. I will do that in the maybe for the last episode of showing the whole city. I think that area we built in the last episode, that looks actually really cool, with the high buildings along the monorail avenue there and some. But and I think that those lower residentials that were built last, they're gonna be a bigger area of that. I'm gonna take away the farm there. I'm gonna fill out that area a little bit towards that. And as I said, also the forestry area that will be taken away. It will be moved to. I already built a new forestry area to the right on the other side of the river here. So that is how you go when you build this city from in normal game mode. So this is how this ended up, and this will be the last for this episode. And